What have I learned from Warren Buffett? The very first thing I want to do is tell you how I found out about Warren Buffett. I learned about Warren Buffett through a friend of mine named Domingo. He was a kid from Mexico, and he came to the United States with his family when he was in his teens. He lived in Chicago, and then he lived in Oklahoma City. And I met him when he lived in Oklahoma City, and one day we were out running, and he shared with me that he really admired an investor named Warren Buffett. And he asked me if I knew anything about Warren Buffett, and I knew a little tiny bit about Warren Buffett, and what I knew was wrong. It was a belief that I had about Warren Buffett. I heard that he went in and took over businesses, and he changed the management, and he reorganized it, and he made the business successful. That was wrong. Warren Buffett got a partner named Charlie Munger. And I don't know as far as what their financial partnership is, but I know that Warren and Charlie Munger work together, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they talk about ideas, they learn together, and they make investments together. Both of them own shares of Berkshire Hathaway. So Domingo told me about Warren Buffett, and he said we should go see Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett lived at the time in Omaha, Nebraska. And I've learned a ton about Warren Buffett. Warren has never written a book himself. There was a book that came out in the last couple of years called Snowball. And I recommend the book. It's about this thick, and there's a ton of information in there. So I want to share with you a few things that I learned from Warren Buffett. Number one, when I go to hire an employee for Pacebutler Corporation, there are three things that Warren Buffett talks about that are extremely important that you want in every person you hire for your company. He says number one is integrity, that the person has integrity. Number two is that they're intelligent, and number three, that they have the energy to do the job. Now he says that you definitely want number one before you want number two and number three. You want them to have integrity more than you want them to have intelligence or energy. Because if they don't have integrity and you hire them and they got great intelligence and they got lots of energy, you might lose the farm. So you want to make sure whoever you hire has a high level of integrity. Now integrity is more than just honesty. They can be cash register honest, but they can make commitments and promises that they don't keep. That is not a person with a high level of integrity. If I'm supposed to be to work at 8 o'clock in the morning and I get there at 8:05, I am not showing integrity as far as my scheduling. If I'm supposed to pay my bills by a certain date and I pay them late, I'm not showing integrity. I got to keep my promises. I got to be cash register honest, and I got to keep my promises. It's time now for you to click the like button. Thank you for clicking the like button. Now, intelligence. Dr. Carol Dweck in the book Mindset talks about the IQ test and how the IQ test was to give people a baseline of what their intelligence, not a controlling factor that says you can't improve your intelligence. As many of you know, at age 26, I read at a 4th grade level. I was not the most intelligent person. I had a lot of street smarts, but not a lot of book smarts. And so through the books that I've read, through the videos I've watched on YouTube, I have become more intelligent. I've now read over 850 nonfiction and personal growth books in the last years. So I believe that I've become more intelligent. And the third is energy. Do we have the energy to do the jobs that are in front of us? I'm a marathon runner, and it takes a lot of energy to run a marathon. There are things that go into my life to make it where I have the energy to be able to run a marathon. One, am I getting ample rest? Two, am I getting the right kind of exercise? 3, do I have the right nutrition to have the right energy? 4 is, what am I thinking about? Am I thinking about problems, or am I dreaming about how great the future can be? Am I into the solution? Am I surrounded by people that care about me and love me? So I gotta have energy. What are we doing in order to have energy? What are we doing in order to have integrity? One of the things that really erodes integrity is gossip. Another thing that erodes integrity is complaining. So working on how can I increase being in gratitude and reduce the amount of complaining I do. How can I totally eliminate gossip? There's no reason for me to talk negatively about the President of the United States. What I should be doing is focusing on the good qualities of the President of the United States, the person that is in charge of leading our country. And the list goes on and on. We complain about our bosses, we gossip about even some of our friends. Just totally eliminate it. People of high integrity do not gossip and do not complain. One of the things that I learned from Warren Buffett that has been very, very instrumental. If you ask me why I think Warren Buffett has been so successful financially, it's because of one word. One word. That one word is compounding. Warren Buffett has compounded his net worth year after year after year. One of the things he has always done is he's lived way below his means. A lot of us Americans spend more money than we make, and we have more things than we need, and things can control us. We need to own things and not allow things to own us. So one of the reasons why Warren Buffett is so financially successful is because of the law of compounding. If you're not familiar with the law of compounding, I highly recommend you study the law of compounding. Get on the internet, research the law of compounding, understand the power of the law of compounding. Warren Buffett has done a wonderful job because he's controlled his expenses, he's invested his extra, and his extra has always been percentagely higher than most Americans ever consider saving. Investing in solid, well-run organizations is one of the key secrets to what Warren Buffett's done. One of my favorite companies that Warren bought was See's Candy. He and Mr. Munger decided that it would be a good investment to spend $20 million in See's Candy. Warren was hesitant, quite honestly, and Charlie Munger shared with him the reasons that they should buy See's Candy. It was a family-run organization with a great product. They made specialty candies and had a reputation, and they still have a great reputation, for making the high-quality candies. And so Warren and Charlie, through Berkshire Hathaway, bought See's Candy for $20 million. That one purchase has given them a $1 billion return on their investment. Their sales have exceeded $1 billion from that $20 million investment, and their profits have been substantial. Warren allowed the family to continue to run the business, and he paid them great salaries, but he also paid them a percentage of the profits. And they've done a wonderful job over the years. It goes back to compounding. One of the things that Warren Buffett does a lot with his time is he reads. He and his friend Bill Gates read a tremendous amount. When they have time, and I'm not going to say free time because we really don't have free time. We all only have 24 hours in a day. So Warren spends a lot of his time, just like Bill Gates and a lot of other successful people, is they read a lot. Now today we can read on the internet, we can read books, we can read company reports. There's all kinds of things we can do to read. So reading makes the mind stronger. Now, one of the fun things that I like to do once a year, and I've been several times, is the shareholders meeting for Berkshire Hathaway. It is held every year in Omaha, Nebraska at the big center there, and it is a party from Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. You can go to the shareholders meeting and you can ask Warren and Charlie Munger questions, and they will answer them in front of everybody. The energy of that shareholders meeting is unbelievable. It's like going to a pep rally. Warren has done so much good with all the businesses that he owns through Berkshire Hathaway. There are many books that have been written about Warren Buffett. Warren has really never written a book. He has contributed to books, and the book that he contributed the most is Snowball. But this book here, it's called The Real Warren Buffett. Now, I read this book and it is full of great information. The circle of competency, so many different topics. And one of the things that Warren talks about a lot in this book is that a lot of his mistakes were because he did not take action. There were errors of omission, things that if he would have done, he would have had a lot better investment, a lot better return. But one of the instances is he had an opportunity to invest in Walmart, and he chose not to because he didn't feel he got the exact price he wanted to get, and so he didn't invest in it, and if he would have invested in it, he would have made billions. But at the time, he did not invest in it. So the things that Warren did a lot of times is things he didn't do, and that's some of his biggest mistakes. Now, there are several books. There's one book out there that a guy's been working on forever. I don't remember the title of it, but it's this thick, and there's 3 volumes of it. And it talks about everything, his family, talks about his investments, talks about where he lives. It talks about, there's just so many things. Now, if you really want to get the insight, what really Warren is thinking about is if you go to BerkshireHathaway.com, you will see letters to the shareholders. And each one of those letters is just full of incredible information about our future and about our economy and about investments and about our country. Another thing that I really like about Warren Buffett is he is such an optimist. He really believes in our country, the United States of America. He believes in capitalism. He just has a really bright future for the United States and for the world population. Warren Buffett is an optimist, but he's not an uninformed optimist. He is one of the most educated people. And when he shares, when he talks about the United States, and he talks about the world economy, it's based on facts. It's based on contacts he has with people throughout the world. Warren spends a lot of time on the telephone talking with people, learning from people, and listening to people. One of the things that I've noticed about successful people is they listen a lot and ask great questions. That's definitely one of the things that I need to work on, is I need to listen more and ask great questions. Thank you for tuning in today, and please hit the like button. Have a great day.